Bhagavad Gita 2.20. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvato ayam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Translation. For the soul there is never birth nor death. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. Does he ever, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Ajo, unborn, Nitya, eternal, and Shashvato, ever existing, and Ayam Purano, undying and primeval, ever existing. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. When body is killed, when body is finished, that time soul is not slain, soul is not killed. Okay. So, one second, I will just open the purport of this verse. Okay, here it is. Okay. Qualitatively, Prabhupada is saying qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. Qualitatively, soul and super soul is same. Okay, that's qualitatively. Okay. Then he, that means soul, undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the stiri or kut istaha, because there is, in further Prabhupada will say now, the body is subject to 6 kinds of transformation. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body, 1, remains for some time, 2, grows, produces some effect, 4, and gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. So 6 transformation will happen in the body for sure. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. Okay, these 6 changes doesn't happen over soul. The soul is not born, but because he takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. So when somebody is born, it should not be considered that the soul is born now, because soul is unborn. It is already there. It is ever existing. Okay, so it is, then what is being taken birth? Body. So one should think like that. So because one may think, oh, this is my son, this is my daughter. No, you have not given birth to the soul. You have given birth only to the body. Okay, so the soul does not take birth there, and soul does not die also. Okay, so when one person dies, one should not think this is soul which dies. No, soul remains. Okay, so body only dies. So the one you gave birth, that is body, and one which dies, that's also body. Soul is eternal. So soul has no such connection with you as such. Soul has only connection with Krishna, and through Krishna it may have connection with you. But because of the bodily connection, soul is, because the ignorance, soul is thinking that soul is connected to you. You are connected to him. Is my son, my father, my mother, my brother. All this is based on actually the connection of body. But when one knows his true identity as soul, then one becomes directly connected with Krishna. Or you can say that one reconnects himself or re-establishes his connection with Krishna, because already connection is there with Krishna, but conditioned soul has forgotten it. That's the point here. So anything which has birth also has death. That's also sure. So one should not be too much attached to family members and all. Because if anyway, one should know very clearly, because the person has taken birth, so one has to die for sure. So be clear here. No need to get confusion, or no need to think that okay, this is because this is my son, so he will never die. Because this is my brother, so he will never die. And because this is my husband, this is my wife, so they will never die. Or this is me, so I will never die. This body, my body also will, I have to leave. Death is for sure. If one has taken birth, death is sure. And because the soul has no birth, therefore soul has no past, no present, no future. No birth, no death for soul. Because the soul is aja, soul is unborn, so there is no death also. So soul is eternal, ever existing and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. This has to be noted. That there is no trace that when soul exactly came into being. That cannot be clearly declared. Okay, but soul is ever existing. Okay, Sanatana. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth of the soul. So what people think? How old are you? 20-year-old. That means I took birth 20-year-old. 20 year back I took birth. But that's about the body. That's not about the soul. Yes? Okay, so the soul does not at any time become old as the body does. So when you say I'm 20-year-old, it is about the body, not about the soul. The so-called old man therefore feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. Desires are same. So old person, but still he has those material desires, right? So the body may not work, but the soul, those things are always there. Soul is always fresh. It is never old. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree, nor anything material. The soul has no byproduct. Okay, the soul has no byproduct either. The byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls. So and owing to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. So the point here is that one should not think that this is my child or my I am a soul. So like one person is saying, okay, this is my son. That doesn't mean that this person who is actually a soul, so it came his child who is another individual soul. So this child who is another individual soul does not came out from the father who is another individual soul. Both are individual soul, both are part and parcel of Krishna. But the body in which this son is there, that body came out from the body in which father soul is there. Okay, so it's not like somebody is saying, oh, this is my son, means coming out of from my soul or from me. I am soul. So it's not like that. It is only the body. Okay. So that has to be very clearly understood. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Okay, and that's also important point, that body develops only because there is a soul present. Otherwise, body will not develop. When body has soul, soul is present inside the body grows. A small baby is born, then grows, become 5 feet, 6 feet. But, and it's ever fresh. But when the body, when the soul leaves the body, within 2 days, the body starts smelling, fluffing, so many insects, so many problems. Nobody can keep the body inside the home for long. Chalo, take it. Right? That's what they say. So this is a very important thing. The body develops because of the soul's presence. So that's why we have to understand that there is soul. Okay, therefore the soul is free from the 6 changes of the body. The 6 changes of the body, they are happening because of the presence of the soul. But soul is not going through those 6 changes. Only the body is having those 6 changes, 6 transformations. Yeah, quite technical. So in the Kathopanishad, Prabhupada is quoting that in the Kathopanishad we also find a similar passage which reads, Na jayate mriyate va pipashin, nayam kutashin na babhuva kashit, ajo nitya shashvato ayam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita, but here in this verse there is one special word, vipaschet, which means learned or with knowledge. The soul is full of knowledge, or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. That has to be always, and we should always remember, the consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart, where he is actually situated, one can still understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. Consciousness is there, so that means soul is there. So sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds, because there are a lot of clouds, we cannot see the sun, or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is there for daytime. We may not be able to see sun, but because of the light we understand that yes, sun is there, it is daytime. And as soon as there is a little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, where man or animal, whether man or animal, but there is consciousness, we can understand that soul is present. So we can understand the presence of the soul. How? By the consciousness. The consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledge, past, present and future. So another example can be understood like symptom of the disease. One may not know what disease, but by seeing the symptom of the disease, doctor understands that this is the disease. Similarly, by seeing the symptom of the soul, that consciousness, one can understand the presence of the soul. Now, next thing is, the consciousness of the soul is different from the consciousness of the super soul, because soul is conscious about this body, only one body in which soul is residing. But the super soul is conscious about all the bodies. That's a big difference. Okay, the consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. Can forget. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. So individual soul can forget his original nature, real nature, but super soul will remind. But Krishna, who is actually super soul, so Krishna in the form of super soul reminds. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. So one should not think if soul can forget his real nature, so Krishna also will forget. No, Krishna is not forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. If Krishna is also a forgetful soul, then what is the point of hearing his teachings in Bhagavad Gita? So that's why Krishna is not forgetful soul. He is super soul, he is never forgetful, he is always full of knowledge, Satchidananda, and Krishna is in the form of super soul. Krishna is conscious about all the bodies, he is supremely conscious, he is conscious of everything. But individual soul is conscious only about the body in which soul is residing. Anor aniyam mahato mahiyan atma se jantor nihito guhayam tam akratuhu pashyati vita shoko dhatu prasadan mahimanam atmanaha. Okay, so there are two kinds of soul, namely the minute particle soul, Anu Atma, and the super soul, Vibhu Atma. Two things, Anu Atma, Vibhu Atma. This is also confirmed in the Kathopanishad 1-20 in this way. That's the sloka. So both the super soul, Paramatma, and the atomic soul, Jivatma, are situated on the same tree of the body. Okay, so that's a very famous example given, that in one tree, on one branch, two birds are sitting. Okay, so one is super soul, one is soul. So both the super soul Paramatma and the atomic soul Jivatma are situated on the same tree of the body. So body is compared here as tree within the same heart of the living being, and only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul also. So super soul, the source of super soul is Krishna, as it will be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjuna is the atomic soul. Super soul is there and individual soul is there. You, me, and everybody is individual soul. Super soul is one of the extension of Krishna. Arjuna is also atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or by his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. So here it is understood that on one tree, one branch, two birds are there. One is Jivatma, one is Paramatma. Jivatma is doing all the activities, Paramatma is just sanctioning and witnessing. Okay, so that's the analogy given here. Okay, so okay, so that was the 2.20 verse. If there is any question, you can ask. Okay, so in this particular verse 2.20, what main point is that the eternity of the soul. Okay, that's what's discussed here. And so there is no birth or death for the soul, and soul has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. Always it is eternally existing. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primal. Ajo nitya saswato and purana. Okay, so that was the discussion in this, that soul as a steady versus body as temporary. So that was the one thing, that soul is always steady but body is temporary. 6 kind of transformation will happen, but this 6 transformation will happen only in the body, but due to the presence of the soul. But soul will not go through these changes, only body will go through. Okay, and practical proof that soul never becomes old. So that is the old man in the same spirits in as young man. Yes, and perception of the soul by consciousness as symptom. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Yes, and 2 kinds of soul was there, Anu soul and Vibhu soul. Anu Atma, Vibhu Atma. Anu Atma is individual soul, infinitesimal, and Vibhu Atma is infinite, super soul. Difference between consciousness of the soul and the supreme soul. So consciousness, individual soul is conscious about one body in which it is residing, but super soul is conscious about all the bodies. Yes, that's the difference. And what is the relationship here between Arjuna and Krishna? Krishna as a super soul is the fountainhead. So super soul comes from Krishna. So Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul, and Arjuna is the atomic soul, who is forgetful of his real nature, or you can say who is playing the role of being forgetful about his real nature as servant of Krishna. So therefore Arjuna needs an enlightenment here by Krishna. And who can understand these glories of the soul? Only one, free from all material desires and lamentation, and by the grace of the Supreme. So what is the point here? That if we become free from the material desire and lamentations, so then only we can, and then we will get the mercy of Krishna, and then we can understand everything very clearly. Atma Sakshatkar. Okay, that's why na shochati na kanchati. Brahma Bhut Prasannatma na shochati na kanchati. Sama sarvesu bhutesu mad bhaktim labte param. Who will get Krishna's bhakti? People who are situated in Brahma Bhut stage. Na sochati na kanchati. He never lament for what has happened in the past. He never worries what will happen in the future. Okay, so free from all material desires. He is free from all material desires. So that's very important, because when many times it has seen that people keep chanting, keep doing many things, but they are not able to progress. Why? Because they are not getting away from the material desires. They are not taking proper association, because when you take proper association of nice devotees, proper satsanga, then what will happen? Because of that satsang, one will develop spiritual desire, and one will go away from material desire, and then one can progress very fast. Okay, so it's like that. Like if you are driving, and like some people came at the bank of a river, and they boarded a boat, and they all were putting all their effort whole night in riding the boat, and morning when they saw, they were at the same place. So they were worried, how could not they progress. So they saw that the rope or anchor was not released. The rope was still tied up there on the bank of the river. So because of that, they were not able to move further. So that rope which is tied on the bank of the river with some tree or something, some big stone, that is like our material desires. So unless and until we cut that rope of material desire, we cannot progress further. Okay, so both direction progress will not happen. If you want to progress in spiritual direction, then there you will go. But if you want to go progress in material direction, you will go there. But only one direction is possible. Because if you go this side, you cannot go this side. If you go this side, you cannot go this side. So some people, or even many people, think like that they can go both the side. That's not possible. Because if you keep leg in two boats, then it's a very dangerous situation. So like this, people want to go both the direction. That's not possible. So we have to be very selective. We should find out our original goal, where to go, whether to spiritual side or material side. Choice is ours. Okay, we have to be very bold in selecting. So forget about material desires, material growth, material whatever it is, name, fame, money, relationship, friends, family, whatever it is, everything you have to leave. Then only you can progress in spiritual life. And if you really want to progress in material life, then forget about spiritual life. You cannot do that. Okay, so it's not very funny thing. It's not some side job. It's not part-time job, just like go on and keep on doing. No, it's not like that. It is the prime activity. It is the main activity. If we are even little interested in spiritual life, make sure we have to be away from material desires, material life. We have to leave it. Otherwise, it's not at all possible to progress in spiritual life, because you are progressing this side, but this rope is pulling you this side. How you will progress? Or you have to be too powerful in spiritual life, too much powerful, that this force will automatically cut this rope, automatically break the rope. That much powerful. That we are not. So we have to stop here. Some people are really very strong in doing sadhana and bhakti. When they do this thing, automatically all their material connection things are disconnected because of the pull, because of the force of their spiritual practice. But if our spiritual practice are not very strong, then manually we have to cut this rope, so that at least slow it will move further, right? So manually we have to cut, manually we have to stop our material connection, our material desires, our material all those things, whatever we may have. Manually we have to stop it, like that. Okay, so then only it is possible. So how we will progress in spiritual direction. And yeah, that's what I'm going to tell, how to make our spiritual practices strong, how we will progress. So first thing, how we will progress, that's this chanting of Hare Krishna. That is the only way to progress in spiritual life. But how to make this push very powerful, that's the point here. So that you can do only by, first very strong point is satsang, association of devotees who have this powerful thing. You go and associate with them, serve them. And because Bhagavatam says that if you want to increase your taste for hearing in chanting, then what do you have to do? You have to Syan Mahat Sevaya, you have to serve the great soul, the great devotee of the Lord. We have to serve them. There's no other way. We have to go and serve the great soul. That's the only point. So when we serve the great Vaishnavas, automatically our taste for hearing and chanting increases. Like if you are sitting in Bhagavatam class, you get some office call, some family call, somebody here, there, you can quickly get up and go out and attend the call. But if you are serving some nice devotee every day, then you will not feel to take the call. You will put it off and you will be more interested in hearing Krishna Katha. Right? You will not find any other activity during the time of class. That's the point. Unless and it is too important. Just small petty things, you will not leave the Bhagavatam class or chanting. It's very, because, and we can understand. Just if you are fortunately in the association of devotee, just go away from it for some time. Don't serve any devotee. Just you will see, you will lose your taste in chanting. You will lose your interest in attending Krishna Katha. You will lose. So serving the devotees, will that is the secret. If we serve the great soul, great devotees, then we will get the desire. We will get so much desire to hear Krishna Katha. Actually, in order to see, this is the point. In order to progress in bhakti, the most Navida Bhakti is the 9 processes. Out of 9, the most powerful process is chanting the holy name. And if you want to chant the holy name properly, you need to hear so much holy name, Kirtan, Krishna Katha, so much hearing you need. Because what you hear, that's what you speak. That's why, that's the point here. A child born in, say, Kerala or Tamil Nadu, he speaks Malayalam or Tamil. Or a boy born in Punjab or UP, he speaks Hindi or Punjabi. What is the difference? Can you just biologically check there that what is the chip? Is there any chip included there which makes a boy born in UP or Punjab speaks Hindi or Punjabi? Or there is a chip which is there inside the brain of a boy who born in a Kerala or Tamil Nadu to speak Malayalam or Tamil? No, there is no chip. It's all same human brain, same human body. But the point is the environment there in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu, the whole environment is filled with Tamil language. Everybody from the child age, the boy is hearing Tamil or Malayalam. He speaks that. But what do you hear? That's what you speak. Right? And same way in North India, they hear Hindi, Punjabi, they speak that. Right? And if you keep a boy, he is born in Kerala for say, and you take him from the birth itself and put him in Punjab, he will never know the Malayalam. You may say he is a Malayali, but he will never know Malayalam. He will only know Punjabi. Or you keep him in London, he will speak only English. So if you keep yourself in an environment where everybody speaks about Krishna, then you speak about Krishna. Because you hear only Krishna, you speak only Krishna. You don't know anything what's happening in the world. Right? So that's the secret. Keep yourself in the association of devotees. They speak, and devotees who speaks only Krishna Katha, not this devotee who speaks about politics and about all those sorts of things. Nowadays you may find some people like that. They may have 2-hour discussion on the newspaper. They may have 2-hour discussion about politics, who will be the next government, what will be this, that. Right? Prahlad Maharaj is all useless thing. Only Krishna Katha is useful. So we have to find those devotees and get, and then when we go there, when we hear continuously about Krishna, we chant about Krishna. So we have to find those devotees only, not the devotees who are always discussing politics, always discussing management, always discussing all those things may be required. I don't know. Management is required, but not too much. The secret of management is that all the devotees, all the people connected to the center or the temple, they get proper facility to hear and chant. That's the first responsibility of the management. Okay, so anyway, whatever it is, it's my own responsibility that I put myself in such environment, such association where my hearing about Krishna increases. Because when hearing about Krishna increases, then only I can chant properly. And the desire, and how I will do that? I have to develop the desire to hear Krishna Katha. And that desire to hear Krishna Katha comes, Bhagavatam says, only by serving great souls, great devotees, Vaishnavas, pure souls, Mahajan. So when we serve those great souls, you can practically see that immediately your taste for hearing Krishna Katha will increase. Right? That's the point here. Somebody, after hearing from Krishna Katha regularly, may say, oh Prabhuji, because of you every day giving lecture, I am becoming so powerful, I am becoming so enlightened. He may feel like that. But there may be another case here. He might be serving some another great soul in previous life or in this life earlier, knowingly, unknowingly, maybe serving, may not be chanting, but maybe serving that devotee too much, serving. So that service to that great soul, how it is resulted? Its result is that person who was serving that great soul got a strong desire to hear Krishna Katha. So externally it may look that because of this devotee is speaking nice Katha, I am getting that desire to hear more and more. But actually the case may be that because you were serving some another great soul, so because of that service, the result is that you got that strong desire to hear Krishna Katha. Right? So anything is possible. So Bhagavatam says that one gets a strong desire to hear Krishna Katha by serving great souls. So serving Vaishnavas is very, very important. So that's the secret to make our desire for hearing and chanting strong. What is the secret? Krishna Katha, the service to the pure soul devotees of Krishna. We should go. Great devotees will never say, hey, you come and serve me. They'll never say. That's the point. They'll never say, hey, come and do this for me. No. They'll very, very rarely they'll say, we have to go. How can I serve you? How may I serve you? We have to go again and again and ask. And we have to show our attitude, so that they will know, okay, this person he is really to give some service. He's really want to serve. So they will give you some service. So actually one should not think that I am serving this, so I am doing great job. No, he is allowing you to serve him. That is his mercy. So we should be very grateful that you gave me some service. Right? Like some great soul said, can you please cook for me? So you say, oh, see, I am cooking for you. You should be thankful to me. No, not like that. You should be thankful to him that he is allowing you to cook for him. That's the point here. So we should be in that way, serving, finding opportunity, go and approach again and again, ask, how can I serve? How can I serve? Right? So by seeing your eagerness to serve, they will bless you with some service. And when you serve in such a mood so that you please them. Prabhupada used to say, I am asking, giving me milk. You may think milk is better than water, but I need only water. So give me water so that I am happy, because my thirst is quenched. So you should know how to serve. Okay, so to serve means actually to please. So you should know what way you can, the person is pleased, the devotee is pleased. So in that way we have to serve with a very grateful manner, with a grateful attitude that he is allowing me to serve. I am no one. 100,000 people are there. to serve him, but he allowed me to serve him. So that's his great mercy upon me, right? So that's the point. We should understand that service to the devotee is the real thing. And when we serve devotee, we get a strong desire to hear and chant. And when we hear more and more, our taste for chanting increases. And then when we chant nicely, we become more and more purified. We progress very fast in bhakti. Okay, so these are the, always as I say, Jeev Daya, Nam Ruchi, Vaishnava Seva. These are the 3 secrets to progress fast in bhakti. 3 secrets. Okay, so never be Jeev Daya anyway. Everybody know we should not be, we should not create any harm to any living entity. We should be compassionate to all the living entities. And Vaishnava Seva, if you do, you will get Nam Ruchi very quickly. Okay, so fortunate are those people who get some opportunity to serve great Vaishnavas. Okay, so we should be very alert and we should be very eager, and we should express our eagerness to the great souls. How can I serve you? Like that. Okay, so that was the answer for your question. So somehow it was extended for some more time. So anyway, if you have any further question, you can ask. Okay, so till 9 o'clock we had today plan, and tomorrow onwards we will do it till 9:30.